We're doing like a book review of small groups, and
Okay.
we had one this morning, and we're talking about this scenario where a team was unsuccessful. And he asked the coach, why is the team failing? The coach is kind of like, the players aren't delivering. Ask the players, why isn't I'm oversimplifying. Why
Sure.
aren't you succeeding? Coaches are doing the wrong thing. So anyway, like coaches and team were going in different direction. So I asked our guys, like, how do we avoid that? And it's all about communication. It's basically, we're a machine with all these gears, and the communication is like the grease of the oil that keeps it all working.
Welcome, Coach Nichols.
Hey John, how you doing? Thanks for
Good,
having
man.
me.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really excited to do this. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
So, unprecedented times right now. How you guys dealing with it?
Crazy. It's I'd have to honestly say it's sort of week to week. When we first got into this quarantine with my team, and they were sent home in early March, we stumbled on this story. You may have even sent it to me about this lady Chadwick who swam the English Channel back in like 50 or whatever. So she broke a record for swimming the English Channel, and then she went to swim in California to Catalina Island, I believe it was. Supposedly a much easier swim, shouldn't be a problem, with one exception, the fog. So she's swimming, she's got her spotter, she's on track, doing everything great, but she can't see the shore. She can't see where she's going. So she ends up bailing out and getting in the boat with less than a mile to go. So she swam for like 15 hours and ended up giving up with very little to go, only because she couldn't see the shore. And we feel like this is really a strong analogy to where we are right now. We don't know where the shore is. We know it's over there somewhere. We know the end of this is somewhere, but we can't see it. But we can't give up now. We got to continue, making our strokes, continue swimming. And that's kind of what that's sort of the MO that our team is taking. And I have to remind myself of that as well. You get caught looking too far ahead, and there's just too many unknowns.
We've talked many times. I think we're both students of what the best teams do, or I would say best companies. For me, I research a lot and do a lot of reading and talking to people, and just how do you develop the right team culture, and that it's not easy to do. And I think you've done a really good job with it. So let's dive into that a bit. Like how do you go about establishing a culture? And I'm sure it changes year over year a little bit because you got a different team each year.
Yeah,
Um,
it's awesome because I've been here for 10 years, and I actually was talking to my former assistant coach. He's now the head coach at Ohio Dominican. I was just talking to him a couple of days ago about our teams, and we both really like our teams. And the conversation quickly came back to quality kids and the type of kids. And I know we had that same conversation 10 years ago, but now that we're 10 years on, we've learned so much more about coaching and whatnot. We're even more convinced that it's about quality people, quality relationships. For me, that is the most important part of any culture. It's people and the relationships you have with those people. Because if you have the right relationship, then you can start setting expectations and having real conversations, and just having people that you want to be around. I think that's easy enough. You can complicate it because we recruit here, which is really a gift that we have. We get to choose the people that we are going to be around with. We get to choose the people we go to work with every day. At the end of the day, we ask ourselves as assistant coaches, like, do we want to be around this person? Does he have the right energy? Does he have the right focus? Does he have the right desire? And if the answer is yes, we're going to say, all right, let's do it.
that's really cool. And I'll tell you, so talking to some of your players, just leading up to this conversation, that was one of the big things that some of them said was the way you seek input. And so
Yeah.
literally reaching out. I know you have your leadership, your captains in different meetings, but just input from everybody. I think that That's crucial. I find that in my role. So I lead a sales team, and same type of thing. It's just that having those connections. And I'll tell you, I think I stole this from you. You had me on a Zoom call early on in this pandemic to talk to your team. And I think you guys were getting together pretty consistently. I don't know if was it daily you're getting on calls?
Yeah, at that time we were, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually, after that, I was like, I like this. And believe me, like we never did virtual calls before. We did conference calls, audio, but to get on video was a little bit weird early on. And we first started a daily call, and I think it moved to every other day, but a lot of them, we didn't have an agenda. And at first I'm like, oh man, how's this going to go? But it was perfect because there's a few of us on, and we just talk and catch up. And I think it's what everybody needed, that connection, especially at the time of uncertainty, as you were talking about at the start of this. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm like you. We're all so conscious of each other's time, and time is valuable. So like, am I going to call a meeting if I don't have something to say? You're guilty about that. But we were just talking about this. We're doing like a book review of small groups, and we had one this morning, and we're talking about this scenario where a team was unsuccessful. Whatever that meant, and a consultant came in. He asked the coach, why is the team failing? The coach is kind of like, players aren't delivering. Asked the players, why isn't I'm oversimplifying. Why aren't you succeeding? Coaches are doing the wrong thing. So anyway, like coaches and team were going in different direction. And at this point, they're in opposite ends. And I think I asked our group, like, so how do we avoid that? How do you avoid? Because my assistant coach had an experience before at a school, and it was very similar to that. And I know that head coach, and he's a great guy. And I'm sure those players were good guys too, and they wanted the same thing, but they ended up in this kind of situation. So I asked our guys, like, how do we avoid that? And it's all about communication. It's all about, let's just stay right here. And the leader being willing to take some input and give ownership, really not saying, hey, we've got to go this direction. Maybe you try to convince them to go this way, but what do you guys say? How do you want to do it? How can I help you? And you stay kind of aligned. And we talked in terms of the regular communication. I kind of think that it's basically, we're a machine with all these gears, and the communication is like the grease of the oil that keeps it all working. And you got to keep feeding it. And even if it's somewhat redundant, you never know what's going to come up in that conversation that mattered. And that's a piece of that grease that really needed to be there. But you don't have those conversations, and you step away for a little bit. Next thing you know, the machine locks up, and now you're in trouble because now you got to get tools out to fix a machine rather than just, continually to oil it.
Well, man, I appreciate it. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I appreciate the time. It's a really good conversation. I know you guys are hard at work, and looking forward to an exciting season in the fall.
Yeah, man, this has been great. I appreciate it. Just fleshing out some of these ideas and just getting ready to talk. And I appreciate all of our conversations, whether it's text, and you're always sending me good nuggets, whether it's podcasts or books. And then that just keeps our conversations flowing with my team too. So it's a lot of it is that, man, there's no magic bullets out there, right? It's a lot of it is the same ideas, same context. But as you said kind of earlier, it's like the genius is simplifying these and making them bite-sized where we can digest them and really understand them. So thank you for everything you do for our program and all you do for me as well. And for having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
See you.